What's up, everybody? You're watching Model Aviator. I'm Adam. It's a new year and it is time for another RC bush flying video. So this is RC Bush Flying 3 and it features one airplane. It's an airplane that's epic and it is the most requested airplane to put in this series by far that we've ever had. And it's too big for the bench. So let's go straight to the field and get right after it. Draco, the Red Dragon, one of the most epic general aviation airplanes to ever be engineered, built by Mike Patey, and through a deal with Patey Aviation and Horizon Hobby, Horizon gained access to the actual Draco and 3D scanned the entire airplane, and that resulted in one of the most epic RC airplanes ever made. I can't remember, at least in my lifetime, any RC airplane release that was more epic and more anticipated than Draco. Horizon spared no detail. Every inch of this model, when you look at it, it looks like the full-scale Draco. Right down to the epic LED lighting system that Mike Patey installed on the actual Draco. Every LED light is accounted for, and with the right transmitter, you can put it on the roller and you have complete control. You can turn all those lights on in stages, and you will see some low light bush flying in this video. They are truly something to behold. Now, Horizon has made some improvements kind of behind the scenes with this airplane over the first runs of the plane. This has actually been evident for a bit, but a lot of people don't know about it yet. There's a plastic cover over the dash so that that black doesn't gator inside there, and oh, by the way, the dash lights are lit up as well, which is very cool. The servos have been improved. They are faster, they have more torque, they center better, and they're a lot less susceptible to failure. And the landing gear has been improved on both ends. The quality control on the carbon fiber or the main landing gear is much better, so they are stronger. Now, when it comes to carbon fiber gear, extreme side loads is going to break any carbon fiber gear. I know that from flying 3D planes and doing Harrier landings wrong. So you still have to be careful, but on a standard landing with the scale suspension, you can get away with a lot more now than you could before. And when it comes to the tail wheel, the spring system is much more consistent. You don't have to adjust that and do a lot of work monkeying around with the springs to get the airplane to track straight and turn properly anymore. So a lot of really good improvements with this model. All the scale detail does add weight, and it adds a need for a better structure in certain places where you have to kind of make up for the fact that you have all these clear windows on the airplane. That adds weight as well. So Draco is a heavy girl for its size. However, you can fly this airplane very slow still, and there are some things that you can do to stack that deck in your favor. The first thing is use lighter packs. A lot of people fly on a 5000 6S. I've even seen people flying on 7000, 6000 6S. Those are really heavy batteries. We recommend 3200 to 4000 batteries, and there's a technique that we use to get the battery all the way back, actually beyond where the actual battery tray really is, and we'll show you how we do that now. I keep 3 pieces of foam inside the battery bay of Draco when I store it, and the reason is battery placement. You want to get the light batteries I spoke about as far back as you can. This is a lightweight 4000 Spectrum. I'm going to press this where most people have the battery there. I'm going to take it all the way back till it won't go any further. Now, the strap is not really useful at that point, but that's okay. I don't really need the strap. I'm going to use foam to keep this in position. I'll get one more piece of foam right here to kind of squeeze it into the top there, and that holds the battery in position. Keep in mind, I'm not doing 3D with this thing. This is for bush flying and maximizing slope flight performance and getting the CG a bit back, and that's how I do my battery placement. Once you get smaller packs as far back as you can get them, that CG is definitely going to help you. Lowering the weight is going to help you a bit. And the other thing is just practicing proper technique. You want to practice flying the airplane around with the flaps in the full flap position. Taking off, flying around, and landing. You want to get your elevator to flap mix such that the airplane's not pitching all over the place every time you make a little bit of a throttle change in that configuration. And you want to remember to use that rudder. Initiate your turns with rudder. Use your ailerons to counter bank angle and control that. Keep the bank angle where you need it to be, particularly if you have the airplane in any kind of alpha. Big aileron corrections when you're really low and really slow and you've got the nose up can cause an off-camber situation on the wing and cause a stall. You drop that wing that low and slow and there's no recovering from that. So get your airplane up, get it high, see what the stall characteristics look like. See what it looks like in slow flight, see what you can get away with. Do some tight turns. Practice using a really great feature of Draco, which is scale, by the way, which is the reverse. Now obviously the full scale plane, it's evaded, they're reversing the props. But the reverse works the same way, pretty much, with the model. And so that's not cheating, that's actually skill. Learn to use that and bring the airplane to a stop even faster, and you'll be amazed at just how well this airplane actually does in its own element. And that's what we're going to show you now, some epic bush flying with the most epic bush plane in our hangar. So we hope you enjoy this as much as we enjoyed making it for you. Take care of yourselves. Happy flying. We'll see you next week with something cool with wings. And as always, if you want to support the channel, you can use the link in the description if you decide that you can't live without one of these. Take care. Oftentimes, full-scale backcountry pilots name their landing spots. This one is called the Hump. The idea is to take off up the tiny hill, do a tight turn under the trees, inside the circumference of the pond, and bring her back in on the downgrade of the Hump. There's a second approach available on this spot. You can go well over the trees and then try to slip the airplane down between a gap in the trees and bleed enough speed off to get yourself lined up and make the landing. This one's a bit harder, but it's a fun challenge. This is one of those spots where there's room to go around if you mess your approach up. We will be landing some one-way spots today where there's a point of no return, and once you're committed past that point, you either land or crash. We call this spot dry lake bed, and it's a rare opportunity. They don't drain the lake behind the hump very often. In a lot of the footage you'll see today, we leave our turnaround process in. Part of bush flying with models is quite often you have to go and physically reposition the airplane. With Draco's reverse, and that being scale, you don't have to do that. We call this spot Road 1. This is the first spot on our gravel road that we ever did any RC bush flying on, and just about every RC bush plane in our hangar has landed this spot at least once or twice. It's a great place this time of morning to show off a good set of LEDs, and when it comes to lights, Draco takes the gold medal. Normally a takeoff and climb out that steep with a model is quite a departure from scale and certainly not accurate. Draco had so much power, that's actually realistic. We call this spot in the road Sideswipe. It's very close to the line of trees. They're right at our back where Heidi's position is and my flying position is. And the idea is to come in down the hill and try to hug that hill as close as possible and put the airplane on the road. I fly a lot of bush planes, and what really separates them is how they fly slow. Draco will fly slow well. It requires proper technique for sure. There's no plane in our hangar more rewarding when we get it right than Draco, and none that look the part and look more scale than this. We call this spot my tree. That tree that I just flew around, that's the idea behind this. Take off, swing around the tree, and come in around the tree. I've hit that thing about a half a dozen times with other airplanes. Luckily, I managed not to hit it with Draco.
Last time we shot here, my piloting position was in a different place and it was very hard to judge how close to the tree I was coming. We changed that for this occasion and it definitely helped. It's always difficult because I'm trying to stay out of camera view, so sometimes I'm farther away from my landing spot than I'd like to be. This spot is called the tunnel. And right there is as close as I came to crashing Draco on this particular day. This curve in the road is completely covered with a canopy of pine tree limbs about 8 feet high, hence the name, the tunnel. You'll see this from two perspectives, this one and my flying position inside the tunnel. This is definitely a one-way. There's no place to break off if I don't like my approach, and if I want to fly through it, I can't see the airplane. Now you're seeing it from inside the tunnel from my flying perspective, and this is definitely one of the more challenging spots. It is really useful to be able to get Draco into slow flight and get that nose up and then rudder it around the corner carefully. In tight spots like this, the reverse really comes in handy to maneuver the airplane around and get it back in position. got a little cute that time and almost paid for it. Thankfully, part of what Mike Patey designed in the airplane actually helped with the model.
It came in handy. Mike Patey's a smart guy.
This episode marks the last time we'll be able to shoot bush flying on this property. This club, Fayette Flyers, has moved to a new, more open location. This location was perfect for this kind of flying, and we are so going to miss it. But we thought Draco would be a great way to go out. We'll certainly find another place to bush fly, and we'll continue to do these videos. We hope you enjoyed this one, and it's been an honor to fly at this place for you. Take care.